Dun 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 dun. Hey everybody, this is True Powers Mine, and this is TPIM. That's our live. Just want to say thank you to all the users who have helped the show by funding it on the Cash App. But today we're going to talk about the code to winning, and there is a code. I was fortunate enough to have a confidential informant send me some information. Hold on 1 second, y'all. All right. The DNC, Democratic National Convention logo. Look at the star of Baphomet. Look to where it's pointing down. All right. If you don't know what star of Baphomet is, the pentagram. There it is, 5-pointed star. Basically makes a horn and animal face. And don't forget, it has a body that's both male and female. Let's go. It should be quite obvious now. Unless people really get the information. You know JoJo's going to win. And by the way, Brother David, peace and power. Those of you guys who saw the video I posted last night, people were saying that was kind of propaganda or something to that effect. How come you're not so quick to point out CNN's bullshit? How come you're not quick to point out Kamala Harris isn't a black woman? Joe Biden truly isn't a champion for black folks or any other folks other than the corporate oligarchs, other than the folks who have the power to put all these codes and symbols right in front of your face, and you never do see. Brother Shannon, peace and power. We're gonna have a powerful show today. I can feel it. Now, basically, I don't know how long that video is gonna stay up. Hold on, I'm gonna play this video for everybody if you might have missed it. Who knows? We're gonna jump over here. Hold on. Hopefully YouTube don't strike me for posting my own stuff. I think it was a funny video. I found it not to be funny, like haha funny. I just find it funny that, big mainstream's not picking up on this. Hold on 1 second. Let me get the microphone ready, y'all. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. This is a TPIM SR Live Short, y'all. I'm your host, True Powers Mine. Listen up. This is Jim Crow Joe. Biden.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots.
Now, enough said as far as I'm concerned. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, you're trying to put a certain spin and twist. No. You heard it in the cadence of his voice, just how freely, Brother Shannon, he's comfortable saying that. Now, whatever context, you can mental gymnastic that all day you want. But you can hear it, Brother Al, peace and power. When someone says words that they use on a regular, when they use it kind of part-time, and when they don't use it at all. Just think what he says behind closed doors. Just think. For him to be disingenuous enough to perpetrate what he's perpetrating right now. But that will be your next president. You heard it here first on TPIM SR Live. Joe Biden will be the first president. And from the information that I got, he won't last long. So Kamala will finish sucking off America, draining the United States dry. And then we'll be carved up. But, hopefully the genocide against melanated folks doesn't happen. Perhaps all this energy other people are putting out here into the universe is kind of offsetting that potential reality. You know what? Let's switch gears. No. There we go. Oh, my bad. I can't do this. I can't do this on YouTube because they would definitely censor me. Well, check out the news here, but I want to show you guys something. What is this? In Mississippi. Let's look at the images. Now, these are the typical images of satanic, I guess, art or symbology. All right. You'll be shocked how many of these symbols you're going to find in your day to day. Whether you flip it upside down. And even look at this. Hold on. This is where people, when they talk about Freemason, this is what they're talking about. Now, this is making that 6-pointed star, thusly known as the Star of Israel. It's on their flag, or the Star of David, or even the Star of Solomon, blah, blah, blah. It goes, but basically that goes back to that one sacred geometry video I did talking about drawing out like the tree of life, how ultimately it forms a cube, a 3-dimensional cube. And basically a cube is a representation of a cell. A cell is a representation of confinement. That's what every system on earth is ultimately about, confining your behavior, or at least guiding your behavior into a directions that the leadership sees fit. Now, you're not going to change that reality, brothers and sisters. I'm sorry. Peace and power, Brother Smoke. Welcome to the show. 392, peace and power. Welcome to the show. This is why it's important for us to do our research and understand these symbols. I mean, everybody knows about the symbols of the $20 bill. You can take it and you can fold it up into an airplane, quite literally the shape of a plane. One side represents the Pentagon getting hit. The other side represents the towers falling. One tower is actually higher than the other. And don't forget, that note was issued 6 years before the event? We have to realize the powers at play, y'all. See, the people who knows what these symbols mean, who understand all these little secret technology, and they're getting paid for this crap. Look at this. The individual who knows what these symbols mean, the individuals who put together these symbols, and the armies, the papacy, communism, Freemasons, so-called Satanism, Christianity, but debased with the snake, French royal family, medical field, Nordic mythology. I mean, all these different symbols represent so much, but don't forget they're all on the same side. These folks are all on the same side. That's why, hold on, look at these hand symbols. That's why you have those certain letter word folks run around town throwing up hand signs. Where do you think the gangbangers learned this activity from? Throwing up gang signs and whatnot. See, everything goes back to the system. That's what I was trying to tell y'all the other day. The real gangster in the block, as it were, is sitting on the board of directors of the IMF. The real gangsters are sitting on the UN Security Council. The real thugs, the real no-limit soldiers, have legions and legions of young men and women with heavy weaponry ready to do their bidding. So until we get to that level, you have better realize every act of individual violence is going to be interpreted by the greater populace as a threat to them. And collectively, we're going to get hammered for it. Look at these hand symbols. Everybody's throwing them up, but nobody understanding what's going down. And don't forget, Masonry, Malta, Catholicism might as well be the MMC, because here's a great picture. We're going to kind of zoom in. All these guys are throwing up codes, letting people know, oh no, that's just how they normally sit. And it all goes back to what Brother Dick was trying to tell us. Where did you think these people get the code? You get the code from the book. Well, where did you get the book? You get the book from being a part of the society. The book is the violation that allows these secrets and these codes to transfer. Now, if you're going to play the game, that means you're going to have to play the game. If the game's being played on you and you become aware of how the game's being played on you and you still elect not to play the game, you already lost. But some of you cats, some of you chicks, some of you brothers and sisters need to come together and develop your own code book. Don't buy nobody else's. Develop your own. Create your own network of people. All right. Now let's look at this mad ass world we're living in so we can see. 18 million tuned into the DNC thing. Oh, I don't know why they got Michelle like that. That is one of the most unflattering poses I think a person could have grabbed of her. Now, how come no one's screaming propaganda bullshit on this one? It looks like she's a fucking blowfish or something. But people actually has the galls to send me messages. Sister CJ, peace and power, welcome to the show. Send me messages about that Joe Biden. It was a TPIM, that's our life short, meaning it was under 3 minutes. And I thought it was quite informative. Hold on. Michelle O. roast and gag. Putin's creeping around in the news. Oh, Musk now 4th richest person in the world. Elon Musk, buddy. HARP, EMP, nuclear maybe, food shortages. Let's do all this without going to YouTube, folks. Hold on. Now, obviously, I guarantee you these people are selling something. That's why they're all about foodshortageusa.com. That looks a little suspicious. Good.gov. Okay, Forbes website. Yes, the U.S. could face minor local food shortages. This came out April 15th. Let's scroll down. Expert warns protest looting and food lines are coming. Now, we already know the food lines are here. A good friend from Texas told me about a food bank down there where it was wrapped around the block, literally. Hold on, let's go farther into the search results. Analysts, will COVID-19 cause food shortages in the United States? April 8th, 2020. You know, it's going to cause food shortages to those who are basically on like some sort of trucking situation. Oh, hold on, we got a caller. Perhaps I'm not for sure. Hello.
Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, sir. How about yourself?
Excellent. I just caught up on the show. I wasn't sure if you were taking callers or not.
Yeah, we're taking callers. You're on the line. Hold on, let me set up for the calling. There we go. Just that quick. Set up over. So where are you calling from and what's your comment or questions?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Right on.
And you were talking about a food shortage.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's coming. You're right on topic as far as what's to come for all of us.
Yeah. No.
I mean, this food shortage is one of many things leading towards us being at each other's throat.
More so than we already are, sir?
Oh, yes. It's one thing when you don't have money and can't buy food, but imagine if you have money and can't buy food.
Oh, man. Yeah, that is a totally different animal. So
Kroger, Walmart, Target closed down. I mean, you got the money, but you can't even pay for what you want.
Because what you want, it's gone. It's gone. And you know why? Now, in Memphis, you're obviously living in the city, but do you ever get a chance to go out into the rural countryside where they're actually growing food?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Mississippi. I sit out 3 or 4 times a month.
So out there in the rural, you know, I'm talking about right now, are you noticing people kind of struggling even out there as far as poverty is concerned? Like a lot of fields laying foul or a lot of this extra debris?
Everybody from the farmer on down to the shop owner is struggling. This is nationwide. This isn't isolated at all.
Man. So why do you think the government is not provide? Remember when Obama was in office, he was talking about economic zones or economic opportunities for people, and they're supposed to put some sort of money behind it, but I think it was rated or not actually distributed. How come the government isn't taking this seriously, brother? I mean, it's almost as if they want us to be at each other's throats. First, it'll be this racial thing, and then it'll be, like you said, literally, you know, you have to eat.
I mean, Brother Pat, you already named it. It's intentional. Everything this government has done during this pandemic, this crisis, you name it, it's been intentional. It's far beyond calling someone stupid or saying this organization is dumb or incompetent. It's been on purpose. America has to sabotage itself on the way to World War III.
Correct. And now you obviously get where I come from, where I'm talking about Kamala Harris and the Indian connection. What better person?
She claimed she was Indian when she ran for California General Attorney.
Right.
No mention of her blackness or whatever you want to call it. She claimed she was an Indian American. She's running for General Attorney in a state like California. You know.
And she got it. Correct.
It.
So now why do we have to switch up, brother? Oh, I'm an African American. I got hot sauce and chicken wings in my purse, y'all. Not that she did that. I'm not saying she did that at all. But why are we trying to put this blanket over the elephant in the room?
I mean, she had to put the blanket over us before she got elected.
Right.
So, I mean, she already knew how to please her, for the lack of a better word, white masters.
Wow. And she obviously is intending to do more pleasing as the VP and potentially the president.
It won't happen. It's just in my opinion, it won't happen.
Well, you would hope. And, like I said before, I am no huge Trump fan. I'm just not. As an individual. As a president of the United States, the guy is doing what the guy does. He's trying to solidify power for his constituency. And his constituency is more than just neo-Nazis. It's more than just business people. It's more than just, it's so-called patriots all over the country. Whether it's good or bad, it's patriots all over the country that will blindly follow this dude. Now, if there is some shenanigans during the election, do you see a potential, brother, as a man on the street, for more violence in our major cities and possibly our rural areas?
What am I trying to say? If the New World Order, the part that Trump plays, Pelosi plays, everybody you can name, these guys are already ahead of the ball. So more than likely, you should expect some sort of events or occasion that keeps us from voting in the first place.
Well, COVID is almost that. And with the COVID mixed with the post office defunding and basically dismantling at this point, let's just be honest, that right there are two man-made tsunamis that's going to affect the elections. Now, if while I'm really reading in between the line, brother, what you're suggesting, you're talking about a little more hands-on, like perhaps maybe a hot war cracking off in the South China Seas, or maybe, a cyber attack that as soon as we go to digital currency, drops all the servers, scrambles all the data. Something like that would be tragic at this particular junction in this nation's history.
Basically, what I'm suggesting is any sort of occasion that Trump can make a national emergency out of, he will.
Oh, yes. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But now let's say that goes down. That has happened. What do you think will be the physical manifestations that men and women will be seeing on the streets?
People killing each other left, right, up, and down. So not to mention government organizations like, the feds, FBI, you name it, raiding people's homes and pulling them out.
So you're talking about the real start of the true hot civil war at that point.
Absolutely. I mean, there's been a civil war as far back as 1992. I mean, when Herbert Walker Bush declared a national emergency, during the riots. That never went away. See, a lot of these things that the president declares as far as executive orders or national declares of emergency, they don't go anywhere. Things have gotten worse since 9/11 even. Not, they said for a minute that we'd get rid of, this heavy airport security and people can fly back freely and, you name it, but it never changed. Stuff got worse. Stuff never got better.
Right, but now, I'm glad you brought up 9/11, brother. Do you remember the unity this country had? Like, I'm talking about the days after 9/11. How it almost seemed like America got it. How it almost seems like, you know what? When these motherfuckers killed indiscriminately, they didn't give a fuck if it was black people up in the building, white people up in the building. All they gave a fuck is that there were Americans up in that building. Now, what has happened to that, you think, brother?
I don't know how best to phrase it, but the washing, the back and forth between having a black president in a country that is predominantly racist, and now having Donald Trump as revenge against those that voted for him, supported him, wore the T-shirts, headbands, you name it. It's really that.
So it was really almost a case of it was a fake. It was fake to begin with. That whole patting each other on the back, we can do this, we can overcome. It was really fake.
Absolutely propagated by any TV network from MTV on down to CNN. Everybody was pushing that message as soon as the towers got hit.
Right. So what, this is what I'm saying. What we just articulated was the mass media's influence and impact on the very mood of this country. And if you want to be ultra nationalistic, you want to be pro-American, then I guess you better buy back your media, because they are straight up ripping this country a new one. At
this point in time, I agree.
You saw the story about the black guy that allegedly, or I haven't seen the article myself. I just heard about. I've been researching international news, but apparently shot and killed a 5-year-old white child.
Oh, brother, you brought up the best topic at the worst time. Because what do I have to say on this? As far as certain white supremacists, basic white perspectives on this, I agree. A lot of major news networks have not covered this at all. This is something I discovered just late night digging on the internet.
Correct.
And I have to sympathize with the fact that, yes, when blacks do something to whites, it's rarely reported. But when a white officer or white authority figure does something to a black, here we are out in the streets singing Kumbaya, waving our flags around and saying this and that. It's funny how, as a brother, I already know you have that experience. We treat each other like shit.
Right.
But we get mad when someone from another race shoots us, beats us, puts us in cuffs, and it's wrong. If we really have an issue with the violence that's going on, we have to address it within our own community.
Right. Within our
Before
own
we
self.
sit here and ask white cop, white National Guard, you name it, please don't shoot us. We are very much dysfunctional.
But don't forget now, let's be honest. You're not really asking the National Guard. You're really not asking the police department. You're asking the white nationalist that's in that uniform, or that self-hating black man that's in that uniform, or the nigger hating Asian or the nigger hating Mexican in that uniform not to kill you.
Right.
What you're really asking is for a warrior, whether known or unknown, of white supremacy. Don't kill me. That's the disconnect we need to. We can take over the police departments. We can take over the National Guards just by our sheer numbers. Because a lot of people don't want to do those jobs. If we apply the mass, we could take that shit over. But could you really take over the culture that's already embedded? Could you really take over the captains and the lieutenants and the majors and all the higher echelons of these organizations and their mindsets? Because don't forget, they didn't get to where they were talking about kumbaya. They got to where they were by playing motherfucking ball. And if you don't know, if you wasn't racist, you didn't get too far in the American game in the past, say 300 or so years. All right. And I'm just being flippant about that. It's really from the start of this piece, like I said on the show.
You're not being flippant. You're absolutely on point.
You have
generations of cops who absolutely hate N-words from 1930s, 1940s up until now?
Correct. And these are immigrant cops. Don't forget, this is O'Malley. I just got off the boat. I paid the police sergeant $300 so I can pay, because they used to have to pay because they couldn't read and shit. They were illiterate bastards.
Right.
And they would have to pay to become police officers. All right. But basically, all you're just a goon. You're just a membrane to keep the unwashed masses away from the opulent elite. That's all you are. That's all you ever been. So when we start talking about police are heroes, we shit so badly in this society on the concept of being a hero or a heroine, being a person who is truly a cut above the average. Listen, man, I don't give a fuck who you are. You're walking down the motherfucking street and you see a woman getting her ass beat. You need to jump in and stop that shit. You're walking down the street and you see a little kid about ready to get hit by a car. You need to fucking jump in there and stop that shit. But you shouldn't do it.
Put the man in human.
Yes. Put the man in human. Because what's happening now, dude, I just woke up and I walked up in Burger King and I made a couple of burgers and sent them out the door and I'm a motherfucking hero, dog. Bow down and kiss the ring.
Let me get a triple Whopper with cheese.
Do you want large fries with that, sir? That's a hero special. This is what I'm talking about. That we have been so debased. And when we talk about issues such as the pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline, which no one talks about anymore. And I get it because, let's face it, reality, no one gives a fuck about Native American problems anyways. Let's just be honest. Because if we gave a fuck, they wouldn't have the problems they have. They wouldn't be in the state that they're in. And those of us who have Native blood in us would actually be aware of that because there would be a benefit to being Native American. That's why I talk so highly about Black folks getting economic reparations and seeing how every time you go knocking on the door, brother, go away. We're not trying to buy what you're selling. Get that fuck out of here. I'll shoot you off my porch. And they come back. We just don't have the money for it, bruh. We just don't have the money. I don't know. And then you hear some fucking news guy. There's a virus going around killing a bunch of wealthy businessmen, travelers. On suddenly, boom, open up the fucking bank ledgers. Let's get some money flowing. See, you always have enough money when it's okay. I'm going to say it like this. Kindergarten. Let's just keep it kindergarten. The system validates itself by the way it treats the individuals within it. If you have a system that's constantly telling you to fuck off, in not so many words, but basically fuck off, you twat, then you need to understand that system is it's not broken. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do. The reality is you have to internalize in your brain the system was not designed for your benefit, friend. Therefore, you have two options at this point. One, you conform to the system and find a little notch and plug yourself in and become a part of the very machine that is going to oppress you, your children, their children. As long as the system exists, it will oppress. Or two, you go outside the system.
Correct.
That's your only two choices. Now, I don't begrudge you guys that plug yourself into the system. I don't begrudge you at all. I understand. It's a tough slog out there. And I know many of you guys who have plugged yourself in this system donate to this very show. And we're grateful. You still can play a part, even in silence. I used to have a group, and it was called Serve in Silence. What you do it in the shadows. No one, you don't even have to be out. Say, I'm exposed. I'm in the light. There is no, we don't know who true power and what the fuck he's about. There is none of that. But for those who understand what I'm saying on this broadcast, don't blow your cover. Stay in the shadows. Continue to be the foundation of the funding of this broadcast and probably others that you contribute to. You are the lifeblood that allows these words. This conversation I'm having with this brother right now, this very second in reality, it's because of y'all. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to the Most High first. And I'm grateful for those who are out there open enough and honest enough to come on this show and talk about these issues. Because let's face it, brother, we don't talk about a lot of positive cupcake rainbow bullshit on this channel. We really don't. We talk about about a lot of depressing and I guess sad, but I don't do this to make you depressed or sad, or I just do it so that you can get knowledge so you can figure out your own personal plan. Sort of like your personal salvation with Jesus Christ, your personal plan for surviving the next Holocaust. You know, for
some reality.
But they don't want to hear it, brother. I talk to people on the street, their eyes glass over. They look at me like I'm speaking, you know, like we start talking. I'm like, you're like this. What the fuck is this guy even saying? And I'm telling you, look, man, if we don't get it together, they're going to stuff us on fucking trains because we're going to be viewed as a collective danger. And, you know, let's just do it for the kids. You know, let's get these predators fucking away from our children at the end of the day. And most rational people, when they realize, yeah, man, you know, if these dudes get what they want, then they're going to fucking rip us a new one. Yeah, let's just kill them. And, you know, we can write a few books about it 20 or 30 years from now. Maybe make a movie, you know, or some shit like that. That's how these people think. It's all a cost benefit analysis. Whereas we think, oh, I believe, brother, I hope, I feel.
We think day to day, week to week.
Week to week, because most of us are not economically validated to where you have the resources to plan out, to chart that course. You know, like the captain on the ship, how you have to take the Saxon out, look at the night sky, and plot a course using the stars and your knowledge. Well, if you don't have time to learn the knowledge of the damn stars and you don't have fucking money for the damn Saxon and or the boat, and the whole goal is to be a motherfucking captain of the boat, be the captain of your own world, well, you're in a very miserable spot, ain't you? Once you come to that realization. Now, as long as you're retarded and you're ignorant of that fact, then you can live quite blissfully. Yeah, as a boss, I'm having a good time, boss. I'm just
absolutely like a good old coon on the plantation.
And let me tell you,
boss, whatever you need.
Let me tell you something. Don't forget, when during the plantation, brother, you were more safer than you are now for a couple of reasons. One, you're a property of master. And you better not put a hand on my fucking property. And number two, guess what? Every slave on the plantation had a job. So it's not about a job. It's about economic viability. It's about being able to acquire wealth. It's about truly upward mobility for all citizens of the nation based upon your merits and what you truly bring to the table, not what pussy you done came out of. And that that applies to everybody. The poor whites are in there, poor Mexicans in there, poor Asians, the handful of them that they are, even the poor Jews, the one or two that are in America. We are all in this together. Now we can either continue down this road of stupidity and obvious conclude with genocide and death, or we can elect to go down the road of reconciliation and true respect and citizenship and true, tangible meaningful benefits. Because the next motherfucker that says reparations are handouts for blacks, I'm going to smack them in their fucking mouth, and I'm going to remind them of what they did to the territory of Oklahoma when they opened it up to the Hoosiers to stake off fucking land for damn near free. You want to talk about a fucking, and that's just one of many land grabs they gave to people. That's why you have families. Oh, well, we have about 75,000 acres. Well, how the fuck well, grandpa had it and dad had it, and then I got it. Well, don't forget, when grandpa snatched that shit up, your grandpa bet not go out there at all. I mean, not even as a cook on a chuck wagon. When it's time to get resources, your ass better not be around. And if you do elect, there's just going to be another dead Negro in the sticks.
Right. Brother Pat, the best way I can put it is even knowledge itself is worthless without resources.
Yes. Excellent.
You can know everything in the world, but if you can't do anything with it, it's worthless.
Right. Well, hold on. It may add to your overall delusional and mental depression. You know, just think about if you actually had the knowledge, brother, to build a spaceship right now, like functional. I'm talking about not some bullshit. There's a real spaceship. But every place you go to Boeing. Oh, man, get out of here, boy. We don't need no janitor. You go over there to Lockheed. Huh? No, get the fuck on. You go to the Skunk Works. Oh, no. You go everywhere and you keep getting denied, but you have this great idea. That would drive you insane. That would totally crush you. And that's where a lot of our brothers and sisters are. Do you know how many beautiful poets we have out there? How many great book writers and screenplay writers we have out there? How many awesome athletic instructors or motivational speakers that we have out there? But then we'll never get put on because the system doesn't work like that. In fact, in all those fields, the system will get the least talented motherfucker and put them on because that person realized subconsciously, I'm only here because of Mr. Benstein. Oh, I meant my manager, the small sombrero. And don't get me twisted, man. Until people start being honest about how the Jewish community affected the African American community, I'm just being PC just to move the point along. Then, man, I'm going to always put my little comments out there. I'll just leave it like that. I'll always put my comments out there because you guys know making an NAACP for the benefit of black folks, but fuck, from the time it was created until 1975, there was no black person that actually ran the organization, even in pretendo mode.
Hell, the top award is named after a Jew. Joe Spingarn or something.
The Sutton Spindle Award. The guy was basically not just a Jew, but he was like a government informant, snitching people out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but see, isn't that the same playbook with Miss Mariah Kamala? No, I was about to say Mariah Carey. I don't know why, but but Miss Kamala Harris and her shenanigans. You know what I mean? Every time I think about that, I think about this amalgamation of Elizabeth Warren. Hey, y'all, I'm Native American. And Hillary Clinton. Hey, y'all, I carry hot sauce in my purse. Like, yeah, you guys represent the worst cultural stereotypes. Because the only time Elizabeth Warren was a Native American is when she put the Pocahontas hat on with the feather. Other than that, she looks like Mary fucking Poppins on crack. And then you got Hillary. Lottie Dottie, welcome to the show, sister. Peace and power. Then you got Hillary. If you spill any of my secrets, I murder you. Oops, I did not mean to say that. I don't want to get banned. I meant Hillary, if you say anything about me, you kind of disappear from Earth. I'm a Barry Goldwater girl. Well, for those newcomers to the show, Barry Goldwater was a vicious, racist politician from the 1960s. This is
ultra conservative.
Yeah, that's where the viciousness comes in. All right. So now we have that protege mixed with her, I can't keep my cock out of Monica's mouth husband, sexual pervert, Epstein's buddy. And these are the elites. These are the leadership. These are the go-to people in the Democratic Party. All of them, every last one of them, shady as fuck. But no one wants
I'm glad you brought that up, because since you brought up Kamala and Hillary and Joe, I want to share a little something with you. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but I'm not afraid to drop names and associations.
All right.
So anyway, Joe Biden is a Knight of Malta.
Mm-hmm.
He has 2 honorary degrees, one of which is from Scranton or Stanton University. But basically, he's a Knight. And his role, as far as him being the Democratic candidate, is to, just like 2 boxers in a fight, he's going to take a dive. This is why he's taking on Kamala Harris. The one time she's half black and she wants to be all black, and the other time she's half Indian, wants to be all Indian. That's why he is taking her on as his partner.
Right.
It's never meant for the Democrats to win another office behind this. Trump is going to get his second term, more than likely a third or a fourth. I believe that the Republicans, since the 1930s, 1940s, have been working on a Republican FDR the same way the Democrats had FDR.
Someone to come in and totally save the whole economy and society by validating people economically.
Not just that, it's a total change in what you know as America. There wasn't any social programs before FDR. There weren't, there wasn't a World War going on before FDR. Well, I take that back, there was, but as far as a president actively dealing with the war and needing extensive terms to deal with that war, it hasn't happened yet.
And the reason why, and I love how all this all comes together. For those who have been watching the show from the beginning, we started off with satanic imagery and symbology, and just the whole Satan NWO agenda. This is how it comes full circle because of Joe's affiliation with the Maltese, who are basically subjects to who? The richest woman in the world, Queen Elizabeth from the UK.
Actually, the Queen is subject to the Catholic Church. She's a Dame of Malta.
Well, she is the Queen Mother of Malta. She is the Queen of Malta. The Knights are underneath her control, which is odd because she's also...
The Knights are underneath the Pope's control. The Black Pope.
The Jesuit Pope. Or the Jesuit
You had it right. Yeah, the Jesuit Pope.
Okay, because some people they don't understand in the Catholic Church. The reason why Francis is so odd is he's the first one to jump from the Jesuits and actually become a actual pope of the open pope. That don't have to have a special password.
For crying out loud, Sammy Davis Jr. was a Knight of Malta.
And a Jew.
That's baby,
odd. That's odd. I guess once you lose one eye, you can finally see the big picture.
He was also half a Jew.
Well, I thought he got converted. I thought he converted to Judaism.
He did.
And the sad thing about it, in reality, Samuel Davis Jr. probably was a Jew. He was probably descendants of the Jews of the Bible, genetically. This probably came true. And then, he gets accepted by the usurper. And I said usurper, and I meant it. These people are chameleons. They're magpie birds. They went into the nest, booted out the original egg, and put the old trifling nasty seed there, and it grows. Not that, listen, here's the reality. All land on earth is only your land if you can keep it from someone else taking it from you. We live on a very savage planet. That's just the reality. And for all the boasting and blustering, if you're not strong enough, are militarily astute enough to defend it, preserve it, and keep it, then basically you're just a puppet and you're doing mental gymnastics so you don't realize just how weak and basically pathetic peasants really are and peons. Because the vast majority of human beings on this planet, you guys are peasants. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest for one damn minute. You're peasants, you're peons, you're serfs, and that's about it. And your children are going to be that way too. So if you want to change it, you got to change the system that encourage people to exploit others like that. Because we're talking about a system. When I talk about reparations, I'm talking about the systems, and it begins with the Catholic Church. It begins with the Kingdom of England. It begins with the government of the United States. It begins with the, certain Arab nations that held slaves and Asian nations that sanctioned slavery. And there's still slavery going on today. Right now, as I speak, there's some poor individual, male or female, in a hotel room somewhere being violated right now as I speak. And no one gives two shits about them. You know why? Because as long as you're plugged into the system, you have to keep the system up, or else guess what? You're subject to all the animals, just like the homeless and poor are out there on the streets. All right, brother. We got another 7 more minutes of this broadcast. You got anything you want to share with the young people? The young people, say, let's say 22 to 27. Give them some wisdom.
All I can share is everything that's going on is intentional. You might call Trump dumb and stupid and people in his administration idiots, but I guarantee these people know exactly what the hell they're doing. These guys are pretty much the last heirs to the American empire. You've already got robbed for what, $500 billion? People out here protesting for a brother that was, I mean, he was a brother, so I'm not going to knock him, but he was less than reputable. You do your homework. You know, you're out in the streets for the wrong reason, and the irony of this situation is that all you had to do was stay at home. They told you at the beginning of the year, once this virus hit, all you had to do was stay at home. You did everything but. So what you see before you is the consequences. But I mean, if you're in the 22 to 35 age range, cop a pistol, cop a rifle, get you some bottled water somewhere, get you some cans. But somewhere between now and November 3rd, it is going to pop off. In some way or another. It might not be as big as you think, but that's pretty much me striking a match and then someone else coming along and pouring gasoline on my hand.
Damn.
So, I mean, you play the game how you want to. Me and certain other brothers, like Brother Pat, we already know it's coming. It's already here.
Yeah.
They're just playing things out as they see fit. But I guarantee you there's going to be some shit behind Trump getting his second term.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Well, you already heard the Democrats. It was basically last month. There was a brief article on CNN about I think an ex-general talking about, there's people in the military ready to respond in case Trump doesn't accept the election results. He's already predicated that Biden will win, but somehow, some way, Trump will refuse to advocate his power to him. So he was already planting that seed in people's minds. And you watch over the next few weeks, that type of vibe's going to start coming through more and more into the media sphere of influence, because they have to foment this thought that, oh my God, yeah, Trump, he escaped impeachment. Oh yeah, Trump, he broke down the post office. And now he won't advocate his his power to Joe Biden and the black lady. That's going to be the narrative. Joe Biden and the
American dictator's already here, folks. Been here, but he's really here now.
Air Trump.
See how?
And listen, folks. Nothing that we discussed today has been top secret. Nothing has been without, some sort of you have to need a security clearance to get it. Just literally go onto Google and type in this stuff, and you can see Joe Biden, Knight of Malta, the U.S. debt clock, racial tensions on the rise. Even look at the new projection for the U.S. Census. See, the shift has changed. Everything has accelerated. That's why don't be shocked if there is a limited nuclear strike on this country. Don't be shocked.
Right, I can see that coming.
Don't be shocked when you go down there to Winn-Dixie's and Kroger's or Albertsons or Rao, and you go in there to reach that pus and water. Milk, and you grab that and you grab nothing but nothingness because it's not there. Because your ass lives on just on time delivery. You better thank sweet Jesus. You better thank the Most High, Allah, Krishna, whoever, that you have truck drivers out there rolling the highways right now, bringing you everything from your toilet paper to your T-bone steaks.
Right.
That's why I told y'all the other day, get your CDL Class A and stop playing. If you have a shitty neighborhood, get yourself a CDL. Basically, drive that truck 24/7. Get a team. Maybe you and a brother, you and a friend, team up. You basically live in the truck. That'll be your apartment, and just stack your money. And at the end of 10 years, I'm just saying, one damn decade, man. 10 years, they ain't shit. Trust me. 10 years ain't shit. You will be economically viable in your own right. You might be so rich to where you're like, true, we don't need no reparations. These motherfuckers just need to get their CDL. Talking crazy. No, we still need economic validations because there are always people out there that just can't do it. All right. And just because we can do it doesn't mean we leave them behind. Because everybody has Go ahead.
Brother Pat, I just want to throw that in. It's too late to leave the country. Several countries have closed their borders. It's hard as of right now to even get to Hawaii or Alaska. And I'm telling you this because I had plans to go to a certain place up north, and I got turned around.
No way.
So it's a real deal out here. If you're stuck in the lower 48, you're screwed, especially if you're black. Your only option is to sit here and fight.
Right.
Go to a camp, or die in your front yard or in your driveway, or whatever they choose to shoot you. I just thought of that because you were talking about truck drivers and how they go across the country right now. That's gone.
Damn. Yeah, because
COVID,
the spread of COVID.
Certificate of vaccination ID. In the future, you have to prove that you don't have this virus because it's that deadly, that contagious, you name it.
Wow. And isn't that the golden Willy Wonka ticket for everyone who wanted to get everybody microchipped? That's the Willy Wonka ticket.
Yeah, Bill Gates is denying that he wants a part in this mass microchipping, but he's lying.
Well, that's just like
every
go ahead.
Major media personality will say one thing, then go back on it.
Yep.
They want you to get to a point where you accept this microchip, this certificate of vaccination, because things are so terrible and so horrible that you don't want to go around another person unless they have some type of validation.
There it is. And not only that, you become physically hostile towards that person because they're going to put you in danger, yo. Remember? So it's okay now. It's okay now. And how many black folks will refuse the vaccination?
Plenty, because they don't already trust hospitals and doctors.
Exactly, and for right reason. We have talked about that on the show. Look, I already pointed out there ain't no such thing as Dr. Dougley, MD Hauser. This Dr. Mangla up in this motherfucker for Yao. That's why they said on this COVID testing shit. Yeah, COVID a vaccination panel won't be complete without the participation of blacks. Well, why do you want us to participate? Well, Tuskegee has a great history of performing experimentations on black folks. Plum Island, all these other little biological, let's say, installations.
Right.
We had better wake up. Listen, every melanated man and woman that has ever died for this country in its violent, war-torn history died hoping that the United States would do us right, died hoping that their people would get respect from the greater citizen bodyship. But that's not what has occurred. What has occurred is just like what me and the brother was talking about, the 9/11 jerk off. After 9/11, they stroked you pretty hard. But then around about 2000, let's just say about 2005, the stroke stopped. And then they started getting ready to butt fuck you. And they've been butt fucking you since 2008, all the way up. First, it was the first financial crisis where we had to get all that money to the rich folks, or else it would be martial law. Now it's COVID and a racist president at the helm of the show. Now it's a trade war with China. Brother, think about this. We go to war with China, and halfway during the war, we're going to have to be like, hey, Yao, we're going to need some more parts for our cars and our tanks and our air.
And face masks.
Yeah, we're going to need face masks, and then probably be like, well, we'll sue you international court. You watch, when the UN finally moves to China, that's going to be a turning point for us. That's when, like Dimebag would always say, the USA is a third world shithole. That's when, people probably will start digging latrines in the backyard. Because we have lost prestige, we have lost soft power in the world. Whether or not they were kicking black folks in the ass, back in the day, this country had enough sense to promote itself as a bastion of opportunity. And they wouldn't let no one say anything differently. But now, most people are scared to come to the United States because, we have so many, we have gangsters on every fucking street. We have some sort of Klansmen around every corner. We have some sort of fucking mass shooter around every hallway.
School shooter.
Yeah, school shooter. We have an epidemic running rampant. All these things. Collectively, individually, it is what. But don't forget, everything I'm saying is collective. It's accumulative. It's stacking up, and we're fixing to have a reset of the fucking petrodollar. That's why they want to go to digital currency, using Ripple to move value throughout the world, because the petrodollar is about ready to go the way of the motherfucking dodo.
Right.
Once they release that new battery technology, that it's going to be wonderful. Then no one's gonna hardly be fucking around with gasoline powered shit. It'll be impractical. It'll be stupid. Of course, you'll have your hobbyists, those guys tinkering with shit in their fucking garage. But the average consumer, no, you're gonna want to jump in a car that you never had to fucking plug into your house. The solar array on it is enough to recharge that battery and keep that thing moving.
Plus, with the GPS technology, that just helps keep track of you.
Of course.
With your phone and your car at the same time.
But let's be honest, brother. If you was dealing with a rational individual who had just a normal experience on Earth, GPS ain't shit. It's a blessing. At least now, if someone snatch up my kids, I know exactly where they took them and what way they went. At least now, when someone fucking gets shot, we know which fucking GPS symbols were in that fucking area. It's gonna be a blessing to those who don't see the bigger picture, of course. Once again, you have to be ignorant and dumb to appreciate that type of fucking surveillance. But hey, there's no shortage of those type of human beings. History has shown us this. So, this is I guess we're 4 minutes over the hour or whatever. I'll leave you with the last word, brother.
All I'm asking all people is to be ready and prepared for what comes behind this election. I'm not making an exact prediction as far as on this day this will happen, this week this will happen, but I put my next 10 checks on the fact that something is going to go down behind Trump getting his second election.
Yeah, you can almost feel it. You can feel it in the.
Whatever you need to do, cop a pistol, cop a rifle, machete, booby trap the house, whatever you need to do, all races of people, please be ready. It is going to pop off.
That's why I keep saying, get your network together, get a group of people. You'll be shocked just how much stronger you are when you're in a team. And you know what team stands for? Together, everyone advances more.
Right.
Together, everyone advances more, or achieves more, rather. Together, everyone achieves more.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you, brother, for calling in. Thank you, and sharing with us. You know,
Right.
and like I tell everyone, you had the guts and you were brave to do this. A lot of people are scared to call in for whatever reason, and they have their reasons. But I thank God that you were brave enough to pick up that phone and dial these numbers, bro.
No problem at all, sir.
All right. Well, peace and power until we talk again.
Correct.
Like always, everyone, I hope that today's broadcast has challenged you in some way, maybe even sparked your own curiosity to go out here and do your own research. Because I want to show you right here, real quick before we leave. Before I release the class to life, I want to show you right here. Look at that. Now, fuck what other TV's telling you. This is the True Powers poll. It is what it is. 45% that would vote or that's voting vote for Trump. No one's voting for Biden. And the other 55% who elects not to vote, that shit ain't even their fucking concern. But those of us who are going to vote, 45%, bam, Biden zero. Now, you know, this isn't a Republican channel. This is what this is what y'all saying. So just keep that in thought. And there's a lot of other posts down here. But maybe this is why. This was when Bernie came out, remember? No reparations for blacks. That's the Democrats, yeah. That's who you're messing with. And not only is there no reparations for you, your babies are subject to die. Yeah, they're not going to be alligator bait like babies that were retroly aborted back in slave days. No, they'll become cells for various products, maybe even flavors for some of your soft beverages. Think about it. This concludes TPIM SR Live for today. Live your life with integrity without hate, envy, or greed. As always, brothers and sisters, please, 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 let's try to be kinder to each other. Peace in our power, unity in our victory, dignity in our respect, liberation. I'm out.